You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 18th day of September, 2017. But it's a short work week. Friday, the markets are open a half a day. We're going to be closed. And then next Monday, the markets are closed the entire day, if I've got it right. And the following Monday, markets are closed the entire day. So we have 4 days this week, basically, to get the job done. And so far, the market has done a fantastic job. Last night, when we emailed out the Concierge Trade Alerts on the S&P 500, we said to consider being long 2688, and the market has put in a high so far today. In fact, a new historic all-time intraday high at 2698, which means there was 10 points available in that trade. Okay, now we never get out at the swing high or swing low. Why? Because we trail our stop. If you cannot see the chart I have up, go to our homepage, cfrn.net, On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered through the end of the month, which means you can join the show each day with one-click access, see the charts, and access the chat box. Also, youtube.com/CFRN/live. Go there, bookmark that page. You have one-click access. You can see the charts, and you'll see a different chat box. Okay? Now, Republican leaders said yesterday that they expected the House and the Senate to pass their joint tax overhaul this week in time for President Trump to sign it before Christmas as promised. Senator John Cornyn, the GOP whip, said on ABC's This Week that he was confident the Senate would pass the bill, possibly as early as tomorrow. He said the legislation would get the economy roaring back again and give everybody in every tax bracket a tax cut. So this is good news any way you cut it. The vote promises to be tight, however. Republicans have a very narrow 52-48 majority in the Senate, and Senator John McCain plans to return to Arizona for the holidays after being hospitalized last week for what his office described as normal side effects of his ongoing cancer therapy. Now, this means he will most likely miss the vote. So, our hearts and prayers are with Senator McCain and his family, and we pray that God do a miracle there. So to all of you out there, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you are returning, welcome back. If you happen to be with us today for the very first time, we're very glad to have you with us. We are in our second decade of broadcast history. Imagine that. Every trading day for over a decade. It's a lot of days. But anyway, we're glad you're here, however you got here. Let's take a quick look at the numbers from around the world, see just how bullish this bull market is, and then we will go to Michael and get a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today. All right, we'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets. The Dow is currently up 189 points. That's right, 189 points. The NASDAQ is up 64 points. Now, I guess I should tell you that the Dow being up 189, that's 0.75%. NASDAQ is up 64 points, that's 1%. S&P 500 is up 18 points, that's almost 0.75%. And the Russell 2000 up 19 points, that's 1.25%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 4 cents, trading $57.34 last. Gold up $8.30, trading $12.65.80. That's a gain on the day of a little over 0.5%. In the Asian markets, color of the day there, green as well. The Nikkei up 348 points at the close. That's 1.5%. Shanghai was up 2 points, and the Hang Seng was up 202, and that's almost 0.75%. Can it hold? It's a global phenom. FTSE in Europe up 46 points, over 0.5%. The DAX up 208 points, that's 1.5%. And the CAC up 71 points at the close. It's over 1.25%. Green in Asia, green in Europe, and green here at home. That's a way to start the week. I think the Santa Claus rally may have just taken off. NASDAQ crosses 7,000. A lot going on. Now, we had talked on Friday. I left you with price was, well, back here. And the last thing I did on the show Friday was I drew this yellow arrow pointing at this weekly zone from last week, and I said, look for this on Sunday night. Well, we didn't get it Sunday night, but we sure got it Monday morning. Okay? And we could be about to put in another new high. Remember, the current historic all-time intraday high, 26.98, just put in this morning. Okay? And it looks like we're trying to maybe best that. Okay? Now, let's just go to Michael. Well, let me show you one thing real quick, and then we'll go to Michael. I had boldly said on Friday that it looked to me, given the fact that Bitcoin typically will rally on Sundays. Why? I don't know. Typically Sunday nights. I was looking for a break of 20,000. Okay. Put in a high here of 19,797. And then we put in a high of 19,891. That means we missed it by $109. And now a pullback. Now we've seen this before when Bitcoin approached 5,000, for example. Couldn't seem to quite get through right away. A couple pullbacks and then boom, and then once it got through, it went on a tear. So we may be seeing the same kind of thing here with Bitcoin. We came oh so close, and then we backed off 20,000. Maybe we got to get a running start, but I mean, leg retrace, leg retrace, leg retrace. We should be keeping an eye on it. Okay, Michael, if you are ready, we can do this.
I am ready. All right. Now, here we go. I should be looking at my
When I come back, guys, I will put the email from last night, Concierge Trade Alerts. I'll drag it up on the screen so you can grab a screenshot. All right, Michael, I'll hit mute and take it away.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 18th day of December, 2017. It's the 18th day of December, 2017. Yeah. Today, if you go to the homepage at CFRN.net and you want to take our free trial, right up here in the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Trading Room. 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. It's right here where you have to click. Once you click there, you'll be brought to this page right here. Now, on this page, all we need is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then you hit that submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must click on that confirmation link. If you don't click the confirmation link, you will not get the free trial. Okay, you got to make sure you click on that link. And again, that's just right here at the top where it says click here, click there, and fill in this little bit of information and hit submit. Then you'll be sent the confirmation link. Okay. Now, today in the room, we actually had a raid day. We didn't get a whole lot of trade opportunities today, and I didn't realize how close we were to a green day. If I had, I don't know what I would have done different. I think I did everything the right way. But anyway, we were plus 10 on the euro, minus 8 on the Russell, minus 8 on crude, and plus 5 on gold. That put us down $7.50. $7.50, and we took 6 trade opportunities today. So, to be that way, we had 2 break-evens, 2 stop-outs, and, oh no, we had 1 break-even. I'm sorry, 1 break-even, 2 stop-outs, and 3 trades that were profitable. But sadly, the stop-outs were a little bit bigger. Anyway, on the month, we're at 1701 and a quarter. That's over 12 days, averaging 141 per day. And on the year, now we're at $32,570. That's over 236 days, averaging 138 per day. Now, that is one contract, 2 hours per day, right? And we'll make this red now, because we did not get our goal for the day, and we ended negative. All right, that's that. Now let's get into what did or didn't happen here. On the gold, we had a break even right here, and a +5 over here. Okay, we missed this one trade opportunity right here, but since then it's gone flat. Nothing happening in there. On the euro, we had a +2 there. Okay, and it looks like there was an opportunity in here. You know, this was going into the high of the day. That's why we weren't doing these right here, this one or this one. Okay, because it was going into the high of the day. And then the cycle started going down too steep. So we got +2 there, +8 over here. That gave us +10 total on the euro. All right, toward the end of the session, we missed this shorting opportunity right there. And then it flattened out during the break. The crude oil. Yeah. On the crude, we missed this long right here, which was a momentum. It really didn't go anywhere. We took this short over here and stopped out. And during the break, this was pushing in the low of the day. So this short right here is the only thing there was during the break. There's a short right now from 57.29 going down into the low of the day. The Russell, come on, open up. Open it up. On the Russell, we missed this short and that long, and then we got into this long and stopped out. Then you see we weren't doing anything in here on the bounce off the BBC right here, or anything in here, because we had higher highs and higher lows. All right, then we get all the way over here, and we missed a short right there. That would have given us at least a yellow day. Missed another one right there. Again, would have given us a yellow day. You know, right now we don't have a lower swing in here, so I wouldn't have taken a bounce off the BBC right there, even though it worked out. Okay, and on the ES, it was total garbage today. Just choppy and sideways all morning. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring this back up, but I want to go over here and look at what we have for news events tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8:30, we have a high impact building permits, and we have current account housing starts. Those are medium impact. And that's pretty much it tomorrow. All right, and that's all pre-market. So, you know, looking at the week ahead here, we don't have a lot for news. That's Wednesday and that's Thursday. A lot of Canadian news there on Thursday. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and final GOP. Not a whole lot for the USD. All right. Again, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to the homepage at CFRN.net, where it says sign up to the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trials, user indicators on our strategy. Click here. Once you click there, you will be brought to this page where we ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then hit the submit button, and you will be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must click on that confirmation link. If you don't click the link, you will not get the free trial. It's as simple as that. All right. And the recap of the recap. Today was a red day. We made 10 ticks in the euro. We lost 8 ticks in the Russell. We lost 8 ticks in crude. We made 5 ticks in gold. That put us down $7.50 today, and 6 trade commissions. Okay, so on the month we're up $1,701. So over 12 days, averaging $141 per day. On the year, we're at $32,570. That's over 236 days, averaging $138 per day. That is one contract, 2 hours per day. And with that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A overlooking the South Mountain, America's largest city park. See the short we just had here? Crude. Right there. That is a sweet short. That's the goal for the day right there. And I wouldn't have done it over here in the Russell because we were not trending. And that's it. All right, so Dwayne, if you are ready, if you are prepared to take the charts back, then you can at this point.
Okay, that ought about do it.
All right, excellent, excellent. All right, I can see your charts.
Can you?
I can indeed. Yes, there they are. And my foot has fallen asleep.
All right, I'll be with you just a second. I'm trying to do something here that maybe it can't be done. Maybe it's not possible. Be with you just a second. I'm trying to what? Just do something here. Happened. I don't get it. Let me try that again. Because I think this really is what I was looking for. Is it not? Just give me one moment.
Okay.
Standing by. Still checking.
Standing by.
Some things take longer than others.
Indeed. Some things do. All good things.
This is bad. It really is. Huh. Give me.
All right.
Say something smart.
Well, we are looking at the 94.95 zone from last week on the ES right there. On Dwayne's charts. And the 78.79 zone from last week. So the fact that the zones were that far apart, and we went zone to zone last week, will usually indicate that the zones the following week will have some space in between them. I'm going to look at the zones for this week, and the one up above is at a big round number, and the one down below is 9 points away from it. The zone below that one is 17 points away, I believe, 18 points away. So we got a lot of range in between the zones this week.
Yeah, we could see some real
some good volatility.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's only 5 out of the zones. So that's good stuff. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are approaching the highest zone of the week at the beginning of the week. That is also a good thing. If we happen to hit the highest zone of the week today or tomorrow.
Okay, you guys can't hear the noise, but there go the confetti cannons from America's most trusted CO2 confetti company. This marks the opening of Stage 2 of the CT Global Coin pre-sale. Okay, so far it's only been open to partners. Okay, today we open up the CFRN community at large. I will update the ChristianTraders.com website today to let you know what your bonus structure is and how much time you have to get her done. Stage 3 is when we open up to the Christian community at large. So, lack of our own confetti, we just borrowed somebody else's. But the partner pre-sale was just fantastic. We were incredibly overworked. We're still a little bit behind. If you haven't got your certificate, you will get your certificate. If you have not made your transfer or wire, really important, get that done today so that we can get all those certificates out, get that all cleaned up, cleared up, and then we can move into stage 2. All right? So, if you have any questions at all, call 949-423-6464 or email us support@christiantraders.com. If you're new to the show and you don't even know what we're talking about, then what you ought to do is you ought to go straight over to ChristianTraders.com. And all the information you need is there. Make sure you read it in its entirety. Read the honest white paper, follow the links, read the articles, watch the videos, and you'll come away much more educated about all things cryptocurrency. Okay, say something smart about what I just said, and I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Well, I listened to that link yesterday about Bitcoin going to where, some people think it's going, and I hope it does, but it was interesting to hear other people who have been in it from the beginning talking about cryptocurrencies, and not just cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin in particular, and some other coins, some other currencies, and the link that I'm referring to was actually about a month old, or maybe even a little more than a month old, because I think back then it was at 8,000 or something like that. And when Dwayne was pointing at the chart pattern, it went from 3,000 to 5,000, and 5,000 to 8,000, and 8,000 to 18,000, and now it's at 18,697. And so if you follow the pattern, the next bump could be as high as 30,000. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Okay. But if you don't know, you don't have to buy a full coin. The coin price right now for one coin is, what I'm looking at is $18,697.15. But you can buy a percentage of a coin. You can buy, that's why they have the decimal places. You can buy 0.0001% of a coin. And that, I believe, would cost you $869 or maybe $86.97.
You see my chart, Michael?
I do see your chart.
Okay. You see the dotted horizontal line?
I do see the dotted horizontal line.
That was the first run at 5,000, and look how far it sold off.
Yep.
32.78, right where Goldman Sachs said it would go. Yeah. And then it took days upon days to break through 6,000, and then at 8,000 we dove all the way back to 6,000. But then once we broke through 8,000 in just a couple of days, we made it to 10,000. We dojied and did some other stuff there at the 10,000 mark, and then in 6 days we almost hit 20,000. From 10,000 to 20,000, almost in 6 days. But the high was put in yesterday. Yesterday's high, 19,891.99. Yeah, highest close.
Now it's due for a pullback here. I would say a pullback to 17,000 maybe. Right in there.
Well, you got this high right here. I'm gonna go with 18,000. Now, every time this has happened, people have said, "Oh, is it all over, or is it a buying opportunity?" I mean, look at this pullback from 8,000 to 6,000. It happened in the course of a week. It dropped. Now, in hindsight, of course, we can say that's a great buying opportunity. But at the time this red candle was painting, it took the courage of your convictions, or this little pattern right here, to give you the courage to step up to the bat. This is what gives me courage. If we see 18,000, that gives me courage that it's a viable pullback.
And we start to see some green on the next candle.
Yeah, very well could be. Okay, recap of the recap. What was it?
We had a red day today. We're down $7.50. We only had 6 opportunities. We missed a couple, but
Be still, my beating heart. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I got John here. I'm gonna bring him online. John, you are live. Welcome to the show. Are you there? Oh, John. All right, let me give him a digital thump on the back of the head. I can do that. I think I can. I used to be able to. Just hang on. There it is. Hey John, got a live mic. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
How are you?
Thanks for being well, actually, not too bad. It's kind of we've got stuff going on here that's just unbelievable. The market, and you remember what I was saying Friday about the market just going higher and higher, and possibly not even coming back to these levels again. Maybe ever. Barring the end of the world. But this is what happened in '86, and the market could go much higher, much longer than anybody can imagine. And it's happening before our eyes. And it's kind of crazy. I was thinking about Trump a bit this weekend. Actually, there was a thing on Fox this morning where a guy, the New York Times of all papers, just wrote a positive article this morning about the war that Trump won, which is against ISIS, that nobody's reporting about. And I think it's to Trump's credit, actually, that he didn't say anything really much about ISIS when they were being taken out, because I don't think he wanted to compromise anything that was going on.
If it was Barack, he'd be parading around in camis, and he would have some of that black stuff under his eyes, like he just came in off an ops operation and personally took them out.
Yeah. No, the one thing that Trump hasn't been bragging about, actually.
Yeah. No, it's He said, "I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna do it."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. And I think this is very important, because after a while, the media, the people are going to start seeing through this media. They're already seeing it, and especially with this, the bias with the special prosecutor. I mean, there's a real possibility some of these guys in the FBI could end up behind bars now because of what they've been up to. And I mean, I think there's a gigantic conspiracy. And if you think, if it comes to light that the Democrats have concocted this whole thing to kind of, thwart the American people for basically a year, and really kind of what's the word? I'm trying to think of it. When you falsely, falsely deceive. They've been deceiving the American people, and they continue to. I mean, they've done an unbelievable deception job on this tax thing. And it's funny because Reagan got the same thing. It was kind of unpopular right up to the vote, but I mean, to give you an example, just happened to catch. I don't watch this show normally, but I just happened to catch ABC on Friday. The Ellen Hour, and she's, there's Hillary Clinton again. I mean, for God's sake, when is she going to sort of go into her hole and stay there? And she's going on and on and on. And I mean, and looking at the market, and the market's exploding to new all-time highs right after the close. You saw that, it broke out after the close on Friday, and the Nasdaq took a big hike. There's a little bit of a pullback going into the close. Then it turned around and exploded into the close. And I mean, this is the thing. I mean, look, this is the real poll. This is the real, you can't. Wall Street is the ultimate poll, if you like, on the progress of the country and on the wealth of the country and on the perceived direction of the country. And the Wall Street has bid this stock market up. It's the greatest rising stock market since 2003. In that alone, it kind of fits with my, and probably your and my belief that, look, we're probably going to have a kind of a choppy year next year. We could easily have 10 or 20% range, possibly above current levels, and then we may advance further into 19 and 20. Because if you look at 2003, after 2004, the market really got into high gear in 2005, 6, and the first half of 7. So, given how strong we are right now, look, the market of this magnitude I think there's 6 trillion rather in net gains as of today. That is just a staggering. There's never been anything like it. I mean, remember in the old days, a Fed stimulus of, in 2000, they had that contingency for the Y2K. That was about a 50 billion stimulus plan, and ultimately, I think altogether was maybe a couple $100 billion. And look at what it did to the market back then. This is 6 trillion. I mean, it's like astronomically higher, and I don't think too many people are really getting the memo. And obviously, most of these politicians have no concept or idea of what the implications of this market performance really are, because the market is always the ultimate indicator, the ultimate leading indicator. And by the way, speaking of the canary in the coal mine, Ireland is now the fastest growing economy in Europe again. It's usually the lead economy, and they're expecting a very strong year next year. I think about 10% growth in Ireland. So we could have an absolutely roaring world market next year, possibly seeing 5, 6, even 7% in the U.S. I wouldn't rule it out. And I think that when that happens, more and more over time, Trump, he's done an awful lot of things. Listen, I've said this from day one. Nobody understands what this guy, he's come from behind so many times. I mean, since you and I, were a year ago, and the election night, pre-election, we were talking about the potential of a huge market up move, and basically anybody who has betted against Trump this year is a loser. I mean, plain and simple. You can't bet against this guy. He's just too smart, and it's. As they said this morning, even if the Democrats win in 2018, which I think is highly unlikely, the then if they try to vote to impeach him for what? He hasn't done anything, and he's gradually transforming the country into something that nobody even had any, nobody could foresee a year ago. The change in this country, the upbeat. I mean, you can't fool the business. All the business confidence indices are off through the roof. They're at all-time record highs, and if we continue, if we continue the sort of Goldilocks economy, not too hot. If the economy doesn't get too hot, this market's probably going to go even higher. So and here's the thing, now they're talking about the infrastructure. Or somebody, this guy on Sunday, Fareed Zakaria is going on, the U.S. is this is the worst thing that's ever happened, this tax cut, because the U.S. is going to plunge into a depression because the infrastructure's, they got to fix the infrastructure. That's bullish. That means there's going to be more business to do.
Right, exactly.
Bringing the country up to speed. Now, he makes a good point. When he came to America, it was the envy of the world because everything worked. The phone system worked, where in most other countries it didn't. And he's saying that other countries have got ahead of us. Well, we know that. That's we got to pay. Other countries have got ahead of us because we've been in a dawdle for 8 years doing nothing and letting the world overtake us. Now we're kind of getting back with the program and the implications. The fundamentals. And the breakthroughs and the incredible progress that's been made around the world is, very, very bullish indeed. And all the boats, all these different countries are being lifted up simultaneously in a way that's never happened before. It's never ever happened before. It's just incredible to be able to say this to the audience today in a way that to emphasize what an incredible time this is and how grateful we should be for everything that's happened. It really has been a remarkable year, and I do believe that the press will. I kind of noticed the press are kind of easing up a little bit on Trump here in the last week. They haven't been kind of too gotcha, a little bit less of the gotcha stuff and the personal stuff, and not the last week, the last few days, say. How about that?
It's like you said, people are starting to see through it, and so the media is going to have to slowly go back to some kind of middle-of-the-road position if they want to maintain any credibility at all.
Right, and as this article in the New York Times says, the media haven't been reporting on the success of ISIS because it's out of kilt with their disaster Trumpian agenda.
It belies the narrative they've created.
Yeah. I think, on what I wish, I think that Trump is kind of missing a big opportunity here. Look, it's interesting, by the way, the attendance in the NFL is crashing, which is amazing. You got stadiums that are half full now. So I think that's going to actually be another win for Trump. And they'll probably get this thing sorted out soon, where that kind of thing will be banned. But Trump needs to be paying attention to the black vote. If anything, if the Alabama result taught us anything, and I said this a long time ago. Remember, I said how important the Hispanic vote is, and how important the black vote. If I was running the show, I would be wanting to turn a 20% Hispanic vote and a 20% black vote into an 80%. That's what they should be shooting for, because that way they're going to be invincible and they're going to have a sweep of the 18s and the 20s. And that's what they should be focusing on. That's absolutely priority number one, because, it's risky if you don't do that. And I think that, as I said a long time ago, had an idea about how to get the Hispanics on side and get their vote, and it's kind of a no-brainer. Look, you've got all these illegal aliens in the country, and you've got to kind of figure out a way that gives them at least temporary status or some kind of and you've got to sort out this DACA thing as well. And the reason why is it's going to be hard you can't deport that many people. There's going to be an outrage. So and the general support is in favor of some sort of a deal, and maybe this is Trump's ace in the hand at some point down the road, where he will be the people aren't living in fear of being deported, and they may if you can turn the Hispanic vote, that's a big deal right there. And he needs to, look, he's already winning with the Hispanic, because apparently Hispanic unemployment now is at a record low. That's really something. And I wish he had said in the same speech, I'm going to do the same for blacks. Unfortunately, he didn't say that. But if he had said that, that would have been an important gesture towards the black community. And he's really got to, bring him. He's really got to get, he's got to get the inner cities. That's the next area that he's got to concentrate on. But going back to the markets and the overall performance, the next big thing is the stimulus bill. If we get $1 trillion stimulus bill on top of this, or maybe even a $1.5 trillion stimulus, that is going to just add, that's going to get the jobs moving and the economy moving. And actually, putting somebody back on the moon is a big deal. I don't know whether people know this, but in the first moon, because in the first moon shot, it took 750,000 people and 20,000 corporations were involved in putting a man on the moon. And that's one of the reasons why the 60s was such a fantastic market. For 60s, really one of the strongest markets ever. And I think that expanding the space program would be very helpful. It's just another stimulus behind the market, and it's also breaking new ground. It's like war creates innovation, but space travel also does. And so we need innovation. This country thrives on innovation, and I think Trump understands that more than any other president in the past. So. And then the third thing is all the money coming back from overseas is gigantic, because, look, it doesn't really matter. Everybody's saying, oh, it's not going to be spent on this or that. It's going to be spent somewhere. And if it's spent on takeovers, ultimately people win from that. And takeovers are very bullish for the market because it reduces the amount of stock and generally forces the market higher. So all these things, this is the ultimate trifecta. It is the tax cut, the stimulus, and the repatriation of $4 trillion. It's a staggering amount of money, and it's going to have a ginormous effect on the U.S. economy, in my view.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Dow Transport hit a new all-time high today. S&P. Dow, Russell, NASDAQ. Did I miss anything?
Well, no, you didn't. And once again, you're up 40-odd points or so on the NASDAQ, I would assume. Probably 150 points on the Dow, and 18 points on the mid cap, and 14 points on the S&P, on top of what you made on Friday. So kudos to you, because
Thank you.
This is an example. By the way, we're just starting to come off a little bit. I actually put a sell on the Dow up at 24,880, and a sell on the mid cap at 1911. And they're coming off a little bit right now. So, however, I'd be careful being too short at the moment of this market. We scalped a bit out of the NASDAQ earlier on this morning and rebought it back at 65.25, and it's at 65.40 right now. So,
very good.
Thanks. Well, look, I made a few mistakes here in the last few days because this is a tough market to deal with. I think I got caught in one one rise that I didn't foresee right away. So, but we made it up really quickly. That's the name of the game. Anytime you make a loss, getting that loss back very quickly is something I've been dedicated myself to. The gold is acting fantastic. And remember what I said on Friday about the platinum? The platinum's up $23, and we had a massive weekly reversal in all of the metals on Friday, and gold is, look, when you get platinum up 23, it usually means gold is going to go up at least half of that. Right now it's less than half of that, so it should be up about 12. It's only up about 8 or 9. So I would expect it to go better. The silver's a little bit more subdued today, but if it were to accelerate higher, beyond say 16 and a quarter, I think that would be very, very positive. I believe that the metals markets had the biggest short covering ever last week. The commercials covered 50,000 shorts and went long 20,000 contracts. So what I was saying about this rate cut with the Fed is definitely helping the gold, and it is sort of breaking down the dollar, but we haven't broken the 93 yet. I think if we break 93 and start going into the 92s, the dollar is toast, and the more that happens, the better. Look, if the dollar goes down like it did in 87, and which would be the equivalent of going from 93 today down to maybe 83 over the next year, that's got to be incredibly bullish for the market, because that would add another 10% to the market just right there. So, and it's going to be very helpful to the U.S. economy, because it makes the products, the exports more competitive, and it somewhat restricts imports as well, because it makes them more expensive. So the metals looking very, very good. The nugget is up on the highs of the day today. We basically got into these things pretty much at the lows last week. I think we got into the gold around literally as low as 1239, and got in and out a couple of times, maintaining an upward position. The nugget, is a little bit subdued. It hasn't really gone anywhere just yet, but I think if it gets over 15, it could get accelerate. And the gold stocks are, acting better. They're not setting the world on fire just yet, but the nugget looks very strong today, and all of the metals have a very good looking bottom on them. In fact, a kind of bottom that could potentially propel them much higher. And actually, did I mention the weekly ABC to you last week? I think I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you see a definable three-wave kind of a pullback, and it's got a $120 range, it gives you some idea of what the upward range going forward could be off that correction. And honestly, it feels to me like the gold could run up to 15, maybe even 1600, pretty easily and pretty quickly, sometime in the next quarter or so. Sometime between now and maybe March or even into May, potentially. Next 4 or 5 months, you could see a pretty big up move in gold, and probably in the oil as well. We're hanging around in the 57, 58 range right now, pretty much holding the gains, although it's coming off a little bit today, and the products have come off. Gasoline in particular has come down quite a bit, but to give you an example, the oil stocks are all higher today, and that's the first time that's happened in a while where they're actually leading the metals higher. Also, Twitter, if you remember, I mentioned you should be long Twitter in case it gets taken over. It's making new 52-week highs today. It's looking pretty good.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Anything in particular driving that?
I think just the fact that yeah, it is making new 52-week highs, and if it goes above 25.5, it'll be making new multi-year highs. I think the Trump factor, and the fact that look, he's still picking up 100,000 new followers a day. It's amazing. That just keeps growing and growing and growing. I think the new, the 280 character Twitter is kind of helping as well, making more people more interested in using Twitter. And I think Twitter is not going to go away. It's here to stay, and I think Google or Facebook or Microsoft are going to grab it one of these days. So, and they're probably going to pay, maybe probably $40 or $50 for it. Maybe, you never know. It's got a, it's growing again, and it's going to get bigger and bigger in time, plain and simple.
Did you hear about Putin calling Trump and thanking him for the CIA tip that helped to thwart a terror attack?
I did, and I thought that was a very good development, because that really, that's a huge development actually, because it quashes all this Russian nonsense. We've been talking about it for a long time. I mean, Dwayne, what did I say about a year ago? This whole thing is rotten to the core. All this stuff, the deceit that's going on behind the scenes is just monumental. And all this stuff. I mean, you don't know this, but this man Nancy Pelosi, they got some kind of a massive communication network, these Dems, where they come out with this agenda every day. This is what we're going to focus on today, and this goes out to all the media and all the shit of the world and all these horror, these Democrats, congressmen, and senators, and they just go out. Push this thing. It's amazing, and they've been getting away with it. But you know what? It might the whole thing might backfire on them.
It's coming back to bite.
That's what Carter Page said. Yeah, that's what Carter Page said a long time ago. And
conservative billionaire won Chile's presidential election. Trump's about to unveil the national security plan, reversing Obama-era warnings about climate change and emphasizing the economic implications of U.S. foreign policy.
That's good. That's good. Look, it's going to be interesting if he does tone down the tweeting a bit, the bashing of people and things like that. Then I think that he's going to win a lot of points in the new year. I think he's going to be, look, he's out to win in 2018, and a lot of people have underestimated this guy in the past, and they may be doing the same thing again. So,
did you hear about the Uber news? There's a bombshell letter claiming Uber hacked into competitors' networks and wiretapped people at a hotel. The letter was written by a lawyer for a former Uber employee who claims he was unlawfully demoted and later fired by the company.
Wow.
Look, they keep themselves in the headlines, I think, because it's probably good for business.
Mm-hmm.
Google is shutting down its ambitious project to reinvent smartphone cameras. Google Tango, which let developers build immersive camera-based apps for Android, will close in March. It's not unusual for Google to put something to the test, create a whole division to work on it, and then just say, yeah, that's not giving us the return we thought it would. It's not doing what we thought. They've shut down 10 or 15 very popular applications over the last few years, which left the people who were involved, feeling kind of lost. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Well, look, it's amazing. Here we go. Look, the Nasdaq's at a new all-time high again.
Microsoft has filed a patent showing that they're working on a folding phone.
A folding phone?
The filing shows a hinged device that looks like a book. You can finally listen to podcasts on your Apple Watch without having an iPhone around. That's new. And Tesla is prohibiting commercial drivers from using its supercharger stations. It released a policy called Supercharger Fair Use that says commercial drivers won't be allowed to use the stations. Interesting. Interesting. You know, there's these stations all across America where if you own a Tesla, you can just pull in and juice up for free. But you can't do that if you're a commercial driver.
Say that again?
Tesla has charging stations all across America. And if you own a Tesla, you can pull in and charge up your car for free. But today they've issued a policy saying that if you're a commercial driver, like, I don't know, pizza delivery guy, you can't charge up for free. Apparently, the electricity is getting a little expensive.
Yeah. There's a big outcry
Although
about
most
how
of those
much.
charging stations are solar powered, I think. But anyway.
By the way, remember what I said on last week about the CME futures? That they go down instead of up. That's what happened. Right, it sold right from the opening down, went straight down $2,000. So, but then it bounced a bit. So
yeah, then it bounced. Well, the thing is the Sunday rally I expected came on Saturday. We came within $109 of hitting 20,000. It's just like when we got near 5,000, 8,000, 10,000. You get right up to it, and I just showed everyone on a chart earlier how long it took to get through those important milestones. And so this pullback ahead of 20,000, I mean, we came so close. Now this pullback, it's an incredible buying opportunity. So, in my opinion, and that's all it is, in my opinion. The chart is still positioned to make a move higher. Let's all take a look at it right now.
Can you put up the E-mini or the Bitcoin futures there? Have you had them up today or not? Okay.
Okay, that's a daily chart. Okay. I'm looking for a pullback to this 18,000 area. Lines up right with this high right here of this candle.
Yeah.
So pull back to 18,000, and you could possibly wake up $2,000 higher tomorrow. Now let's see, the Bitcoin futures contract is so there's so far in the session this morning there had only been like
yeah, it's pretty light, but it did open right on the high. It opened at 20,650 or so, 630.
So far on the day,
opened at 20,650, and right now it's 18,750.
And it looks like so far we got about we got almost 200 contracts traded. So yeah, it's not like anybody's rushing out to buy it. The volume's very spotty. Okay, now right about here, see this. Watch for a hold, guys, on the futures contract, 18,600. And if you get back up to, if 1,600 holds and you get back up to 1,650, I would start giving it some consideration there. I don't think even many people in this audience are trading this futures contract as of yet. Everyone's waiting for it to flesh out. I mean, that's a 5-minute chart. If you put it on an hourly, it looks a little better, but not much. So no doubt some people who've been looking for an opportunity to short were there last night, but not with any volume. I mean, this volume is very anemic compared to what's traded in the spot market on a daily basis. So it'll take some time for people to catch up to it, catch on, adapt. The margins are high right now. Mike says, what kind of pizza driver can't afford a Tesla? A really good one, I guess. All right. Anything else you want to cover, John?
No, listen, I think we covered everything today. Thanks very much for the invite. It's great.
Well, listen, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a great afternoon. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's take a look here. Get the page to load. Come on. Yeah, while that page is loading. Okay, on the S&P last night, the Concierge Trade Alert email said to consider being long 2688. We ran up to 98, okay, which made 10 points available per contract for the subscribers. And on the Dow, by 24,750, 140 points available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low because we trail our stop. So you're always going to leave a little something on the table. The Russell last night, the email said to consider buying 1540, and so far 17 points have been made available at $50 per point. So that's not a bad move. All right, in Q, we said to consider buying 6520. First move up, 19 points times $20 per point. And important prices, important areas, almost always tested. And so actually there was a move here that I didn't calculate, and then we came back, tested the trigger again. So there's actually 3 trades that came off of this. So, but we'll go with 19 times 20 and 18 times 20. Both those very nice moves. Bonds, we said to consider selling at 154.02, 18 ticks times 31.25 per tick per contract available. On crude oil, we said to consider buying 57.55, $260 per contract available. We also said if you get the chance, you can sell 56.90, and so far we haven't got the drop. We'll see what happens. Last but not least, I guess, would be gold by 12.59. So far, $1,300 per contract available. And on soybeans, there was actually some movement. Sell 963, 4.5 points available, alongside no trigger. So that covers each and every one of the markets. Now, here's an interesting little headline. French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire announced on Sunday, December 17th, that the next group of 20, the G20 meeting, would include discussion about how to regulate the world's most popular cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. The digital asset hasn't ceased in making news all year, and European politicians appear more concerned in direct proportion to its price increase, as shown by the EU legislative body urging strict compliance laws upon coin exchanges this week. The G20 establishing regulatory frameworks, however, would spread across the world and have enormous impact. The G20 includes central bankers from 19 countries, and this is the one thing they really can't control. But they'll figure that out in their own time, in their own way, I suppose. Bitcoin markets, as we were just speaking, took a slide Sunday evening, December 17th, about an hour after the CME Group launched the company's futures markets, even though the beginning of the derivative sessions were quite bullish with contracts above 20,000, Bitcoin spot markets dipped to a low of 17,925 across many exchanges. Bitcoin markets reached an all-time high on December 17th, coming close to the $20,000 price region. Boy, I was so close. I didn't quite make it. Many indexes reached a global average of 19,500 per Bitcoin during the morning hours. Then the price either dropped below 19,000 or rose above that territory briefly a few times. The past 24 hours have been perfect for intra-range players and day traders who play the cards right. At 8 p.m. Eastern, Bitcoin's price suddenly dropped 3 legs down to a low of 17,925 per token, and it has since bounced back. In contrast to the day traders profiting during the mega dip, many observers watching contracts from exchanges like BitMEX saw some margin positions get owned when the price dipped under $1,000 in a flash. Bitcoin trade volume is pretty high, as roughly $13 billion has passed through the hands of global exchanges. Today's top trading was held on Bitfinex, Bithumb, GDAX, BTCC, and Bittrex. At the moment, Japanese yen has around 44% of the global trading share, and the USD and KRW are following behind. Funnily enough, during the mega fast dip, Tether, the trading currency that claims to have a 1-to-1 backing of US dollar, has crept up to the 4th position for currencies by volume. Looking at the chart shows Bitcoin price took a nice hit below the belt, but it's rebounding nicely. Order books show some stronger resistance in the $19,250 area, but it looks like bulls can wipe this dip off with ease if nothing more happens. On the backside, if bears claw weak hands once again, order books show some foundations around 18,150. I'm looking for 18. I might need to adjust that. For now, traders are making quick profits and still seem to have optimism towards the idea that more all-new price highs are still underway. Others believe a much healthier price correction is due for Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies in general. Nevertheless, market prices between 18,300 to 18,600 right now are currently trading at the same value positions reached on December 16th for the first time. All right, our good word for the day. We've been talking for the last few days about doing what God tells you. He told Noah to do some stuff that was, well, a little strange. But what did Noah do? Man of faith, he did it. Genesis 6:9, Noah walked with God. What went through Noah's mind when God told him to build a boat in the middle of the desert? Nobody had ever done it before, yet the Bible says Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Genesis 6:22. How did he do it? Answer, Noah walked with God. Walking takes place step by step. The trouble is, we want God to reveal the second step before we take the first step of faith. But until we take the first step, He won't reveal the next step. We've got to be obedient to the measure of revelation He has given us. We always want God to move first. Well, I'm just waiting on God to move. How about you get off the couch? How about you move and then see what God does? He won't reveal the next step. We've got to be obedient to the measure of revelation He has given us. If we want more out of it, got to get up, got to get moving. That's why we get stuck spiritually. We only want to follow Christ to the point of precedence, the place where we have been before, but no further. We're afraid of doing what we've never done before because it's unfamiliar territory. I say it's time to step out of the boat. So, as a result, we leave unclaimed the new gifts, new anointings, and new dreams that God wants to give us. You've got to push past the fear of the unknown. You've got to do something different. The African impala can jump 3 meters high and 10 meters long, yet it can be contained in a small enclosure with walls only 1.2 meters high. Why? Because it will not jump if it cannot see where it's going to land. We have the same problem, don't we? We want a money-back guarantee before we take the leap of faith, but that eliminates faith from the equation. We are called to walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith is not what you believe, it's what you do with what you believe. Faith, the original Greek, is pistos. It's an action verb. We've neutered it and turned it into a noun. So your good word for today is this. Do what God has told you. Fair enough? Fair enough. Just a reminder, midnight last night Pacific ended the partners portion of the CT Global Coin pre-sale. We're now in stage 2. I will get the ChristianTraders.com website updated to reflect that. And of course, those of you who are you're not a partner, but you're part of the CFRN community at large. In other words, you're on a mailing list. You now have a week to take advantage of your special bonus. And when stage 2 ends, the final stage, stage 3, that's when we open up to the general public around the world. Okay? Partners did an incredible job. I got to tell you, we were blown away. We're still trying to get caught up. Now, if you're not a partner, but you're part of the CFRN family, your opportunity is here. Okay? If you have any questions, call 949-423-6464 or email support@christiantraders.com. If you haven't been there, go there. Read every article, watch every video, read the white paper, consume the site. Make sure you understand everything there. If you have any questions, get a hold of us and we'll fill you in. All right? All right. Well, that's going to do it for today, this Monday, the 18th day of December, 2017. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.